Hey, welcome back to Ironman Darts. Dave here. I got to tell you about an article I read about James Wade's 3-hour practice routine, which I thought was a great concept. How often are you practicing? Maybe that's the first question. You can leave that in the comment section below. I am practicing probably 90 minutes to 2 hours a day. That's my goal for 2023, is to practice on average 2 hours a day to achieve the goals that I'm looking to accomplish in my league and my finishing stats this year. So here's what the article is. It's in the Daily Sun. His first hour of practice is all triple 20s, 19s, and 18s. He says he just does that nonstop until he hits them all, or he's like feeling good. Once everything's dialed in on the triple 20s, then he moves down to the 19s and 18s because that's what he would be shooting in matches. Next, the next 60 minutes is working on outs. And those outs are 100 to 170 in 6 darts or less. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's his deal. And I think depends on what you're doing, if it's soft tip or steel tip. You need to practice on those scenarios because that's real life scenarios. Once you get down to 170, it is a 6-dart game, right? Then he does a, part of that 60 minutes in the 100 to 170. So what he does is he starts at 100, and if he's able to do it in 6 darts, he goes to 104. He increases by 4s. If he doesn't make it, he drops down by 1 mark. So let's say he gets to 104, but he doesn't get 104 in those 6 darts. He goes down to 103. If he does it, he goes up 4 marks, I think, to 108. Anyhow, he does that until he hits 170. So he does that for 1 hour. His last hour of practice is 80 to 100 outs in 3 darts. And he says typically those are the outs that you have to be good at and are typically the outs people have. And you have to do it in 3 darts if you want to win. So what are your practice routines? I've made it clear that mine, usually in steel, is going through, nearly got it, is going through all the cricket numbers because my league is heavily influenced by cricket averages on soft tip. I don't have a steel tip league where I live. Whoa, might as well go for it. Might as well go for all ones. So I work on my cricket numbers on steel tip. I'll do that a couple of times until I feel good, maybe 5 rounds at each number. And then after I do that a couple of times, including the bowl, I'll do some outs. I'll do the 16-8-4, I'll do 20-10-5, and I might go for, double 12 a couple of times, something along those lines. That's what I'll do on steel tip. I usually do that in the morning, and then in the evenings, I'll do a cricket count up for 3 rounds. And then what do? I'll play the animals, and sometimes I'll just do like an 11-game medley against like the elephant. I think he's a 3.5 average on cricket. I'll play him best round of 11, and then I'll go in, I'll go in the lobby. After I get a good, 20 minutes or 25 minutes of a practice game, warm-ups, everything is feeling good, then I'll go into the lobby. Ooh. Now I'm just rushing it. Every once in a while, I'll just stop and I'll play the treble 20 game on Dartboard, where it's how many rounds will it take you to hit 30 treble 20s. Same thing with a bowl. I'll do the bowl game, where you have to, how many rounds can you go until you hit 30 bowls? And even though you hit a double bowl, it counts as 1 toward your 30. And my best is 13 rounds going at the bowl. So my bowl game is pretty strong. I'm probably at 67 to 73% of the time I will hit a bowl with my 3 darts. So I'm usually hitting and averaging a ton in those scenarios. And then the cricket count up is usually a 4 average. If I'm averaging 4 after 3 rounds or so, then I'll leave the area and I'll play the animals. Anyways, I thought it was pretty interesting to hear what a professional does for their practice session. His 3-hour routine was pretty good. I'll put a link to the article below so you can kind of read it in detail of his 3-hour practice routine. In the article, it mentions something about Phil Taylor's quote years ago about these guys can't beat me because I'm practicing 7 to 8 hours a day, or if you want to beat me, you got to practice more than 7 to 8 hours a day because that's what I do. And that was a Phil Taylor practice idea. I know none of us, whoever's watching this, you're not a pro, most likely not a pro. Maybe you are, maybe you're super elite and you're just working on some fine tuning some things. This can be beneficial to you, working on your trebles for the first hour, working on your 1 to 170 outs in 6 darts, and then doing a 3-dart out 80 to 100. Those are always useful. We may not get there, but it's the process, it's the challenge of going through these and being consistent with the routine. I'm already finding that my game is more consistent, more relaxed, I'm more confident because I'm putting the time in. And I had a comment, I think it was during a live stream, of what do you do before a tournament? What kind of practice do you do before a tournament? And this question came up at a recent tournament, and I go, well, I don't do anything different before a tournament, anything before a sign up, because all my work is done here in the Dart Lab. All my work is done ahead of time. So when it's time for tournaments, I'm just playing. Now it's autopilot. It's kind of like when you go to a game where you're an athlete, all week you've been practicing. Game day, you show up, you do it. It's instinctual. You've done the practice, your confidence is there, you know what you can do. The game plan's already set. I know how to set up, I know how to follow through, I know my outs. It's all done by then. Anyways, there's nothing special about practice before a tournament or a big event because you're practicing every day. Now it's time to go and put that into practice. You don't practice on tournament day. You don't practice during playoffs. All the practice is done ahead of time. Anyway, the rant's over. Thanks for watching. James Wade's 3-hour practice routine. Throw them straight. Good luck. Thanks for subscribing. Leave a comment below. Until next time, adios.